In today's video, you're going to be getting a whole lot of value because I'm going to show you how to automate a sequence with Apollo so you never have to touch it again, and also how you're going to scrape data from Apollo using their pretty cheap plan. Now, if you don't know me, my name's Molony. I'm your expert at lead generation and tech AI tools. Let's get into it. Let's first look at Apollo's pricing. See here how they say unlimited email credits. That's not actually true. They only allow you to actually do 1,000 export credits per month, which is not enough data to actually make an indent in your lead generation. So what I've found is a free scraper tool that I'm going to show you throughout this video. So you only really need either the $39 or $79 plan, and you're going to be able to actually scrape a lot of data, probably around 10,000 contacts per month with the email and their LinkedIn profile. That's where the money is. Let's jump into it. By the way, I also have a code below. Please use that. It supports the channel. I don't get paid by Apollo to do this, and I'm giving you a lot of free value. Hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up. Let's get into the gin and juice. I've created a demo account and I've created a sequence for us. So come into conversations, come onto sequence, and let's look at my test. So you'll see here, there's a few things that I want to point out that are really important. Number one is your subject, and then also this first line here. You'll notice when you're looking at your emails, you'll see that little subtext. And if it's got enough sex appeal, if it's got enough juice, if it's got enough fire in it, I'll open it. If I can tell it's spam, I'm like, goodbye, bon voyage, unless you're adding value, right? Here I've done a little bit of sex appeal and I've kind of added in clickbait, which, you know, some companies like, some companies hate. For my target audience, I don't mind it. So first name here, wanted to make sure you saw this. Is this true about company name? Most decision makers, founders, CEOs want to know what's being said about their company. So that being said, what I've done is I've added in here a little bit of specific information. So in my lead list, I've targeted technologies used HubSpot because that natively integrates with our Growth House platform. So the funny thing about this is we have email in Growth House, but the thing I love about Apollo is the ability to filter down in their lead list, and that's why I use this. Plus, you set this up and it's on autopilot. So I use this, I use Growth House, and I also use Instantly for cold outbound communication. They are all linked below. Okay. So then here I've said that, you know, we support SMBs to Fortune 500 companies to improve their pipeline. I'd love to give you a quick 15-minute demo. Please, this is the part that I love. I've never actually had anyone ask me for $100 PayPal, but the funny thing is I know that I'm always going to add value, and unless someone's like completely rude, I don't think any founder is going to jump on with me and not provide value. So that's kind of a nice little cheeky catch at the end. Now here, I always love to turn on reply to previous thread. This is the first email, so I don't actually have to have that on. And then I always want to send a test email to me to make sure the formatting's right. I've already done this, so that's super easy. I don't like to have any emojis. I don't like to have any photos. I just use the dynamic variables of first name and what we can actually enrich from Apollo. So we're going to save that. You can also choose who you want this to come from. You don't have to, you can add in a fair few email addresses in Apollo. So that's email number one. And then 3 days later, on day 4, what I've done in here, if I said reply in thread, so then I've pretty much just asked them another question and given them a little bit more information on Growth House, which I think is important to always have at least 1 or 2 follow-up messages.
And then from here, I export that data and I plug that into Growth House, anyone that hasn't responded, and I will then send them a LinkedIn connection request. So you'll see here, I've added a task on day 9 is to export data to automate to LinkedIn. So this is our sequence done. It's taken me literally 5 minutes to craft this out after spending a little bit of time of like crafting out the right copy for this target audience. But I wanted it to be generic enough that I can add different industries in here, but I wanted to have that personalization with HubSpot because that's my ideal company profile. I want them to be using either HubSpot, Pipedrive, Go High Level, or Salesforce. Cool. Now I'm going to show you the fun part. Plays are a really cool feature within Apollo, and this is how you can automate the whole process through their play feature. So this is a template. I'm actually going to click create from scratch. So we're going to just name this as a test HubSpot, and you can give this more context. But what this does is what I'm wanting to achieve here is adding new contacts into this sequence, so I therefore never have to touch it again unless I'm looking at statistics and I'm updating the copy. So I'm going to choose on a specific date, and then I'm going to go into advanced setting and process 50 people. The reason why is because I'm only going to add one email address, and it can only send out 50 prospects per email address. Otherwise, we're going to get our email domain blacklisted, and we do not want that. Only once. So the question here is, if eligible, how often should the same person be added to this play? I only want my prospects to be going to this sequence once. And I would assume you would want that too. So I want this every day. When is this going to end? Never. Keep on, give me them prospects, give me them leads, let's go. Okay, so filters. This is the fun part. I'm not going to pull up any filters here because I don't want to show you anyone's personal information, but the filters that I love, let's go through them. Signals, super cool. The fact that I can actually get a signal when any of these actions have happened within the company. News, that's pretty cool. Like notifying someone and actually being able to actually give them a congratulations if they've moved up the corporate ladder. The other thing that I love to actually go down into is buying intent. This is a new feature. So I'm not going to go too much into this, but Apollo has actually recently released this. So what is their likelihood of their intent on buying your solution? And I think that's really something that I would be spending a lot of time understanding, as well as the thing that I love about Apollo is adding in an industry, but also then including keywords within the company. For example of this, say if I'm looking at, let's just go trucking or transportation. See how it says transportation, trucking, and railroads? Maybe I just wanted trucking. So then I can exclude anything to do with railroads. So this kind of gives you the precision of really making sure that your target audience is qualified leads that fits your business solution, and there's someone that is you want to speak to. Otherwise, if you cast it too wide of a web, people are going to get frustrated, and it's just going to take a lot longer for you to actually make sure that you're finding a qualified lead. And then the most important part of this is actually targeting the right person within that company. So whether you're targeting, a founder, a CEO, or if you're wanting to target someone in the C-suite. So let's just look into this here. Job titles. You can specifically roll out specific job titles, but what I love to do is actually go from a management level and then actually add in job titles if I need to be very specific. But mostly my campaigns are going towards an owner, a founder, a C-suite, or a partner, and that's who I want to target when I'm casting out my web. But the one other thing that I can't see here is, technologies. This is powerful. So this is where I actually come in and I pop in HubSpot, right? And then I know all of the companies that are actually using HubSpot, which I just think is really powerful. So I'm going to actually pull my lead list, add them in, and then I'm going to show you what to do next. 1 second. Now that I've created my filters, you're going to see here what I find really important. So employee numbers, the person's location, management level, industry, users at least HubSpot in the technologies, email status verified. This is really important. You don't want to be blasting out emails to unverified email addresses because it's just going to reduce the quality of your domain and you're going to burn through email addresses. Now, I've also said sales department minimum of 4. So that's actually given me a really great list. And so this here is create an alert. I actually don't want that because I want this to be fully automated. And I want to actually add contacts to sequence, right? And I want to select which sequence. And then you can either do like a round robin where you actually choose different email addresses. For this one, I'm specifically going to be using my email address. And then if you want to add any more steps, you can do that here. But for me, this is perfect. So I'm going to go save changes. And then if I want to make that active, I activate play here and I press save. And that is now completed. How exciting! So, what you've all been waiting for. What is the scraper tool that I use? Dun, dun, dun. Let me show you in a second. Welcome to my Notion portal. I've created this specifically for you guys. If you want access to this, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, smash that bell, and hit me a DM on Instagram, and I will personally give you this beautiful Notion tracker. Not only does this have all of my tools that I use, but it also gives the ability to actually track this and make sure you're keeping on top of how much you're spending on subscriptions. I think that's important. So down here is the Chrome extension, Instant Data Scraper. Let me show you how you do this and how it works. Now comes the fun part. What we're going to do is we're going to select our prospects and we're going to add them to a list. Once we've added them to the list, that'll then go and actually pull email address. So you'll see here, we have their verified email address. Now what we're going to do, as soon as this is enriched, we're going to press on our data scraper. What we're going to do is locate the next button. So you'll see right here, this is the next button. So I'm going to select that and then I'm going to click back on my data scraper. What I need to do is make sure that I actually get the right table. So you'll see this red thing popping around my screen. For some reason, I can't see it, but normally it's selected over here. So what you'll see here is their first name, their LinkedIn, and then you'll slide across, you'll see all of the other information, including their email address in this file here. So then I'm going to press start crawling. And you'll see here it's actually jumping through the pages and it's scraping that information. Now, once this has stopped crawling, I will then download that CSV file. Just note that you can only have a list of 2.5K at a time scraped. So make sure your list is under 2,500, but I'm really excited because this is already completed. I've scraped 7 pages and now I can download that as a CSV file and I can plug that into my Growth House platform. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.